I thought like the world was over and that my career was over as a designer and I'd never make it because I thought it was the biggest mistake I'd ever made in my entire life.
It's tells all, but also like, let's stay in business. So I totally get it.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, I'm Megan Moulton and we are back today with another episode of Tells All.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh God. I think one of the very first memories of me making a mistake, it had to do with making sure you have a process that's documented in writing and you reviewed it with your clients. Everyone knows everything is on the same page. It was like the first 6 months I was in business, and I had my first client that ever did not know about something up front because I didn't have it documented. She was not happy, and I don't blame her because it was my fault for not having everything on paper and us reviewing it together. And I remember that when that happened, I thought like the world was over and that my career was over as a designer and I'd never make it because I thought it was the biggest mistake I'd ever made in my entire life. And looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like laughable. Like, I can't believe I was so upset about that. But I feel like every single time you make a mistake in this business and with any business, it's like such a learning opportunity. And still every single day we make mistakes, every single day. And it's like we're constantly learning, we're constantly improving and growing as a business, as a company, as a service provider to clients and customers. It's just constantly having to change how you do things. So yeah, we take them as good teaching moments and learning opportunities.
What are some red flags that you would look out for in potential clients?
Yeah, so whenever I talk to a new potential client about working together, it's really about me getting to know them and them getting to know me, and us figuring out like, are we gonna have a good like relationship, you and I? Because really at the end of the day, that's what this is. And it's typically over like a year to 2 years or more period of us just working together. And so it's like a relationship, just like anything. And like, do we jive or do we not jive? And like, if we don't jive, no big deal. Let's find someone who you jive better with. It's not me. And I think that just makes it a win-win for everybody. But it took me a long time. Like, I feel like I'm still getting to that point in my career. Like, it's taken a long time for me to figure that out and to be confident enough to say, I'm not the right fit for you, but here's someone who might be a better fit for you. And plenty of like potential clients have said, you're not the right fit for me. I mean, many have said that, but it took me so long to like have the ability to say no, because I am just like a yes person. And I'm just like, yes, we can do that. You know, we can do anything. But now I understand how important it is for that relationship to be there on the front end. So really, like, what am I looking for that might mean that we're not gonna have like a jivey, fun relationship is maybe, you know, I always think about it like, would I wanna go to dinner with this person? Would I wanna hang out with them? Like, would we be friends? You know, those are like the kind of things that I think about seriously, because I feel like it's that kind of relationship. Because at the end of the day, my role, like my job, is to give my client my opinions, which still like blows my mind. Like, I'm not like performing heart surgery. I'm not like, it's not like you're choosing someone that's gonna like save your life. You're literally choosing someone as your designer that you like, you trust their judgment and their style. And so when I think about that, I'm like, literally, they're just like thinking of me as like an opinion giver and they're trusting me. It's like a friend, really, on like a more professional level. So those are the kind of things that I'm thinking about when I'm talking to a new potential client. And then beyond that, it's just like your clients have to jive with your process. So if someone's like, can I be super involved in the process? And like, can we go shopping together and look at stone together and look at tile together and look at plumbing together? And all those things. I'm like, oh, no. Like, that's not how we do it. Like, we'll go out and shop for you and then we'll show you everything. So you don't have to do anything, which most of our clients love, but some don't want to do it that way. But that's fine. We're just not the right fit. So, but now I have the confidence to say, you know, we're not the right fit, but here's some people that might be a better fit. So most people, when I talk to them up front about their design project and I ask them, have you thought about a budget? 99% of the time they say no. We do not have a budget in mind. We're hoping that you could help us determine what an appropriate budget would be to accomplish what we want. And so that's usually one of our very first steps in our design process, is to put together a proposal based on everything they need and want throughout the home and what our services are going to be. And typically I'll present that number of what an appropriate budget would be. And most of the time the clients come back and say, well, actually I was hoping to be closer to this number. So what I've learned over the years is like everyone has a number. Everyone does. But I can totally relate as a consumer and someone who uses services myself for my own home that, you know, I don't know anything about landscaping. I don't know how much it cost. But then when my landscaper gave me his budget, I like fell to the floor and was like, oh my God, like, no, we don't want to spend that much money. You know, like we want to spend more like this much money. So I kind of get it that you kind of need to see it all out in front of you and like list it out what all you're going to be getting within that budget and have a better comprehension of it. And so it's like this starting point of I give them a suggestion, they come back and say, well, actually we're thinking about being closer to this number. And so then we tailor our design so that we can do everything within that number, whatever that number is. But what I've learned is everyone does have a number. You just have to like dig to figure out what it is.
Have you ever totally missed the mark on your first round of selections?
Yes, 100%. So here's the thing, when you first start working with a design client, one of the very first things I always ask for is some sort of inspiration images. Just show me any pictures that speak to you for whatever reason, because photos are so telling. Like if someone says my style is super traditional, in my mind, I might think about what that looks like, but in their mind, it means something totally different. And so if they show me a picture of what they like, it's like, oh, okay, I see what you mean by traditional. Like, I got you, right? And usually when someone makes a Pinterest board or has saved images, it's like this very repetitive color scheme or style. Like, I literally just glance at it and I'm like, yep, gotcha. Now you have some people who just are lost and they don't know who they are. Like, am I traditional? Am I modern? Am I funky? Am I boho? Like, who am I? Like, they want to be it all. They want to be everything. They're very eclectic. And when I look at their images, it's almost like, ooh, okay, I don't really know who you are. I see you like a lot of different things. So I lean more into like maybe the architecture of the home or where the home's located or, you know, the client's favorite colors that maybe she wears a lot or whatever it might be. And so you're really trying to give this client like a style because maybe they don't have one. And so I've done that before and missed, like completely missed. And it honestly, whenever that happens, like I feel like what you end up with is even better because typically they'll come back and say, oh, like once they can wrap their head around it, it's like, oh no, they'll show me pictures. I like more things like this. I'm like, oh, well, yay, because like now we can do more color and pattern and print and all this fun stuff. Like I did not feel like that was you at all. So it's like you always get something better out of it once you truly kind of get to the bottom of it, of who they are. And so yes, I've missed so many times. It's part of the process. Not talk. I love it like during design presentations when our clients come in and like we show them everything and they immediately like give feedback and like immediately say, I don't like that, you know, love it. Like nothing hurts my feelings. I'm not attached to anything we design. Like the more talking and feedback and engagement and conversation we can have during a design presentation, the better. Like that makes us end up with something so much better because we have this amazing sample library all around us. I would love nothing more than to go pull more additional samples like in the moment during the design presentation than wait and have to come back and redo everything. So, and that usually happens if a client just doesn't say anything. And I get that too, because a lot of people's brains just don't work like ours. Like they're gonna see all these samples and fabrics and wallpapers and paint colors and things in front of them, and it's literally gonna make their head spin. And so they just like can't have any feedback because they can't even like wrap their head around what they're seeing. So I get that as well, but typically the way that happens is they have to like process everything, and then we get our feedback in like one big lump sum where like I love in the moment. I'm very fast paced, spontaneous, so like I love that. So not that the other type is a pain in the butt, it's just if I had to choose, I like in the moment, on the spot feedback, good or bad. I've had designers over the years that like we've walked out of a design presentation and like you can tell, like you have like a feeling like after the client leaves and you're just like, yay, oh my God, they loved it. Like you're so happy, like everyone's so excited. And then you have these moments in your career where the clients walk out and it's kind of like this feeling of like, did they like it? Oh, I don't know. That felt weird, you know, like I've definitely had that feeling, but I feel like my designers maybe feel it more than I do. Like maybe I've gotten like a little more like numb to it because I feel like everyone just processes things differently, especially in this environment with like so much being thrown in front of them in such a short window of time. Like some people just truly cannot like react in the moment. And so it doesn't like get to me or bother me or hurt my feelings or whatever. Like I know that it's all going to work out in the end because it always does. It always does. But yes, we've walked out of presentations before being like, yikes. There's no way they liked anything. And then we always figure it out and they love it. Yeah.
Okay. When I asked that, they both looked at me like they were gonna shoot me, by the way.
I just have a certain. Yeah, I have a certain memory.
Wait, I don't remember.
Yes, you do.
It's too recent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So, yes, some design presentations, they're just all so different. They're all so different, you know? And some at the end, we're like popping the champagne, like, woohoo, we love it, it's amazing, so fun, yay. And then others, it's just like different personality types that it's just, I don't know how to say this. It's just like some people are, I don't know. I can't answer this question good, Sophie. I really can't. Like everyone has different personalities. I can't judge them based on that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. when you start ordering product, that's when things go wrong, because it's passing through so many channels, so many hands. So like when we order a product for a client from a vendor, that vendor is then probably having a portion of it made overseas. Hopefully not anymore, but like they're getting it made overseas. It's coming over, let's just say to California. Then it's on a boat. Okay, let's say it's coming over on a boat. Okay, that's where something can go wrong. And then it's gonna get on a truck that's gonna take it to North Carolina. Something can definitely go wrong there. And then it's gonna get to North Carolina where they're gonna finish the piece, upholster the piece, probably. So like you gotta get the fabric to them, and then that's gone wrong a million times. And then they upholster it, and then they gotta ship it to us. And then that takes forever and always goes wrong. And then it gets to us, and then we inspect it, and then 30% of the time it's damaged. So then you got to send it back, and they got to send you a new one, and the process starts over. So the logistics that's involved in what we do is like crazy. I don't feel like anyone really understands that, nor should they. They don't need to understand it, because that's our job. Like, that's what we do. That's why you hire us. That's why this is a luxury service, so that you don't have to deal with like, hey, Crate and Barrel, where's my order? Oh, Crate and Barrel, this arrived damaged. Oh, Crate and Barrel, this broke after a year. No, like, we are your Crate and Barrel. Like, we are handling all the behind the scenes, everything, so that you don't have to deal with it. So you don't have to deal with the trash. You don't have to deal with the damages. You don't have to try to track down where your bed is. Like, we do all that, and you don't even know about it. Like, you don't even really know we're doing it. We just do it, and then we just tell you, hey, it's time for delivery. So that's like the beauty of what we do, and why you hire a designer, so that you don't have to do it. And we do it really well, but that's where like a lot of the stuff goes wrong, because of all the hands involved in that part of our process. It normally happens with like lighting. Like, lighting gets damaged a lot. And frames. Anything that's like frame, glass, mirrors, lighting, damage. So like, they come in damaged, you got to order another one. Like, so someone has to be behind the scenes, like tracking that, make sure it comes in, and it has to be here when everything else is here, so we can do the install at the same time. Like, it's okay. The worst thing that ever happened to me in ordering was a bed that we ordered, and it took 6 months, and it was a very specific bed, like a very specific style bed. It took 6 months to get here. Like, it was on its way. And literally the vendor was like, the container fell off the ship. Fell off. I'm like, am I being punked? Like, is this like for real? Like, there's no way this is happening right now. No, it did. It fell off the ship. And so we had to reorder the bed. It took another 6 months to get here. That was probably like my worst ordering thing that had gone wrong ever, besides the cabinets that we installed that were wrong color and had to be like lifted up to a second story and installed, and then they'd get reinstalled and taken down and repainted and then lifted back up and put back in. That was bad, but that was like, those weren't ordered like a piece of furniture. We've had a lot. Sarah probably has a million more.
I love you, Sarah.
A lot.
Okay. Off the ship.
Fell off the ship.
Okay, next.
So install day is such a chaotic, crazy day. It's like moving someone in an entire home, all their furnishings, hanging all the art, all the rugs, all the mirrors, all the lights, all the everything in one day. Like, So typically we have multiple trucks, a dump trailer, at least 6 guys, our entire team of at least 6 or more people. We have someone who hangs everything when it comes to like artwork or mirrors or lighting. Sometimes an electrician, sometimes the drapery installers there at the same time. I mean, you just have like an army of people there on install day doing everything. So we asked the client to leave for a couple reasons. One, because you don't want to be in your house like in all this chaos happening, because it's a lot of chaos and it can just be distracting, obviously, if our client sees all this chaos happening in their home. But number two, because this is like their moment, is when we get everything installed, to be able to come home and see everything. It's like their grand reveal. And so we want them to be able to experience that amazing moment. I think install days, like before I was in this business, like I don't think I had any idea like what they really meant or like what it entails, but it's like hundreds of boxes. Like I think our last install we had over 350 items. So like the amount of boxes, the amount of trash, the amount of styrofoam that comes with that is just like truckloads. I mean, it's insane. And like cardboard boxes. So like it's very labor intensive, but just when you're like placing all the furniture on install day, it does not matter how many measurements you took or the plans that you have, something is going to be different in the house in person on install day. It's never like not happened to us, ever. Like you can take every precaution in the world and you still are going to walk into something on install day that's going to be like, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be like, or oh, that doesn't fit quite how we thought. You always have to be able to come up with ideas and adjustments on the spot. Like it does not matter how long you've been doing it. It just is how it is. It's like in person, once everything's in there at the same time, you have to be able to pivot and adjust quickly. Also, I would say like hire professionals to do what they do. So like electricians, plumbers, people to hang artwork. And the reason I say that is because you could be hanging your artwork into custom millwork, shiplap, stucco, plaster, wallpaper. And if you mess that up, like they have to go back and redo the whole wall. Like they have to redo the wallpaper, they have to redo the plaster, they have to redo the stucco, they have to redo the shiplap. I have learned my lesson the hard way on that. Also, like plumber, I would say, is really important. Hugh tried to install a light fixture for us one time. Actually, this should have been an electrician. He tried to install this was like my first year in business, a light fixture for me in a powder bath. And it was a sconce hanging like centered over a powder bath sink. And he drilled into the wall and he hit the pipe that ran down to the sink, to the plumbing, and water just started spraying everywhere. And we had like buckets like holding it up to the water until he could finally get to the water shut off. Like we had to call our client, find out where it was. Like it was a nightmare. And that was like a huge lesson for us. Like, okay, we're not electricians, we're not plumbers, like we're not gonna try to do this ourselves. So really lean on your professionals. And that's with movers too. Like don't try to do it all yourself, because every time we try to DIY it, like move something, like, oh, we got it, it's just like a sofa and a coffee table. Well, then you got to think about like, is there a rug in that space? Like, are we gonna have to lift up the other furniture and move the rug and put it under the furniture and then move the furniture back on? Like it's so much labor. So like really lean on your professionals, and it works out in the end because you work more efficiently if you hire professionals to help you. No, I've never had like a bad reveal in the moment like that kind of reaction. Thank God. That would be terrible. Like I've seen like the HGTV episodes where they're like, oh, it's not what I thought. Like, not like that, but I definitely have had clients that it's like they have their moment of like, oh my gosh, I love it. And then like 2 seconds later, like they're immediately like going up to like the draperies and be like, is it supposed to be frayed like this? Like, is this lampshade supposed to have this like little thread detail? And, or, is this rug supposed to have a pull in it? Like, immediately like go into like every little thing, like trying to find something wrong. And I think that's just how some people's brains work. Like, they're so detail oriented, like they're just gonna go straight to like the tiny details and like find those little minute things that can all be fixed. But I think on an install day, like that always like it just kind of gets me tickled. Like, it kind of makes me laugh, honestly, because it's like, oh, there's a string right there, here, we'll just cut it off, like, oops, or whatever. And it's just like, it's just funny in the moment of like this big joyous like reveal, and it's like, oh, we missed a thread, or whatever. Like, but I totally get it. Like, everything should be perfect and amazing. And in the end, I will say all of our clients are always so happy, which is all that matters. I tell clients, like, when you become a MM client, like, you're always an MM client. Like, I will always be there for you. You can always reach out to me, anything you need, because we have that relationship, right? Like, I want that. Like, I love all of our clients. Like, I want to be there for them, like, forever as they go through different moves and phases in life and have different things they need help with. Like, absolutely, like, I want to be their go-to person for that. But I think, unfortunately, at times, like, my team might be too busy to take on smaller projects. So that's the beauty of our design concierge program right next door at our shop, is like, I can have any one of those designers help one of our design clients with something small, and I can pop over there and help as needed. So that's been really nice to kind of allow us to have these like design clients that can be with us forever, because now we have an extended team of our design services that can help them with some of those smaller details that they might need help with over the years that we just maybe don't have the time for, like, right in this moment. So that's been a really great addition. Yay. This is the series where my social media director sits me down and gives me pictures or prompts me with questions, and I have no idea what it's going to be about.